With the tripling of tuition fees in 2012, students are beginning to face the pressures of paying back their student loans. However, research has shown that paying back these loans isn't the main issue, and instead, funding themselves through university has become their biggest concern. With the current economy, the notion of depending on parents for support is quickly vanishing, so instead, students are now going to high street banks for finance in the form of small loans, student overdrafts and student credit cards. This raises the question as to who can students go to for trustworthy advice about money.
I would say that just under half of our queries each week relate to student money.
Really?
And that's not fees, that's money.
Yeah.
So week in, week out, when we're looking at reports, it's coming out about 45%. Big chunk of the things that students are coming to talk to us about is money. So we always, it's part of our service and part of advising students on how to get ready, we always tell people to open a student bank account and get a 0% interest overdraft. Because we know that your student loan is not enough. It's not enough to cover your living expenses.
Definitely.
So having a no interest overdraft is the perfect buffer, so that when you're waiting for a payment or something's going to go over, or you have to pay a deposit and 6 weeks accommodation fees in advance, you can do that. What we do find though is when we're helping students that come to us, we're seeing that they've got multiple credit cards, they might be using payday loans, gambling, So we'd always look at income and expenditure, and then you always start off by saying, right, is that realistic at the moment, or can we already see glaring things that need to be looked at? So part of what we do is work with students to help them identify this is a priority and this isn't. The minute someone is facing really, really serious debts that they are not going to be able to manage by themselves, we'd always encourage them to go and see our debt advisor. And at that stage, they'd be following the same process of looking at income and expenditure, but then they'd be looking at sending out statements and liaising with the various people that students owe money to negotiate a reasonable repayment plan. There's good debt and there's bad debt, and there's high interest and there's lower interest. The reason that graduate loans exist, and the majority of banks will offer them to good customers who've had a student account with them, is that generally a graduate loan, you're looking at about 7% APR, sometimes even lower depending on who you're with and what's going on with the financial, with the economic situation. If you have an overdraft which is going to jump up into 18-19% APR, take out a loan and clear the lot and just have one single loan that you're paying back. I'm open to, I would like there to be a situation where maybe as part of Freshers Week or something like that, we can have banks that can come and just talk about their products directly to students, just to raise awareness for what's available to them. What we have had recently, or over the past year or so, is this online financial capability training. And financial capability is a bit of a hot term for getting good with money, and being able to navigate all of that small print, what an APR is, what financial products actually mean. There is a big connection to debt and anxiety and mental health, and the two can really feed into each other. It can start to affect spending in an irrational way, and then realising that debt's stacking up can start to make someone more depressed, more anxious, go into denial a bit more, and the two can feed into each other and over and over, until it's this huge problem that a person doesn't want to face up to. We're talking about a very real problem, but some absolute definite support that's available in the Student Life Centre. No level of debt, no level of financial difficulty is impossible to get out of. It's difficult and it can be very stressful and worrying, but it's also really empowering to take control of it.